I sat through Jack Catterall versus O'Hara Davies and Andrew Tabiti versus Ruslan Fafer. Here, we'll be right back.
And I'm sure that most of you at home will have Kubrat Pulev ahead, whatever it is you want to happen, but a fair reading of it, an impartial judgment of it. Pulev clearly ahead, surely, Richie.
I think so. Brave challenge from this fella, but it probably wasn't enough. The cut certainly played its part because he changed tactics from the cut. Really went for it at one point.
That was from the last round.
As the rounds went on, he just got more and more tired, Hughie Fury.
Let's wait for them to read the cards. I already know. Oh, wait, hold up, some highlights. I already know that Kubrat Pulev won. So what we're going to talk about is what I've been talking about for quite some time, is that Kubrat Pulev is now the mandatory for Anthony Joshua, and he'll likely be getting that shot April the, the 13th, 2019 in Wembley. And I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn doesn't like that because they have no control over it. It's either he has to fight Pulev or vacate his titles. And by the way, the IBF is the most strict and stringent of all of the sanctioning bodies. They will strip you. Ask his countryman, Tyson Fury, Carl Froch. They tried to get him before he got out, before he retired. They don't care about rematch clauses. They like, listen, you're not holding our belt up. Every year, you're supposed to fight a mandatory unless you fight a unification.
Doing
Listen to the cards.
His thing in front of his people, and he might just have.
I want to hear how wide the cards is, but also, you know, Hughie Fury is only 24 years old. He turned 24 last month. There's still upside there. I'm wondering, and you know, I know it's kind of taboo to talk about, is whether he should change his team, you know, and go with somebody else. I mean, I don't know. He's had two big, massive fights in the last 13 months. He fought Joseph Parker September last year, right? September last year. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live, by the way. I cover every single major fight live. This was on ESPN Plus. I was at the Jacobs versus Derevianchenko fight, so I couldn't cover this live.
Here we go.
After 12 rounds of boxing action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the score totals. Vincent Dupas had it 117 to 111. Richard Green, 118 to 110. Pasquale Procopio, 115 to 113. In favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And now the IBF #1 contender, Kubrat, the Cobra Pulev.
There can be no complaints. One of the judges had it 115, 113, but all three were in favor by 6 rounds, by 8 rounds, and by those 2 rounds of Kubrat Pulev. He gets the win. He gets the shot at the IBF title, and for Hughie Fury, no hard luck stories, but now he'll have to rebuild.
Thank you, Dave and Richie. No complaints and surely no arguments from any of us here either. Pulev,
look at these two guys.
18 months, remember, probably producing one of the best performances.
David Hay manages Derek Chisora now.
From Fury's perspective, the truth of it is, at top level,
I'll let this play in the background and see if they get post-fight interviews for American translation. Let's talk about it. Do you think Dylan White, who turned down Kubrat Pulev, do you think that Dylan White could beat Kubrat Pulev? I think so. Do you think that Gerald Big Baby Miller could beat Pulev? Very interesting fight. I'm going to give it 50-50. Both of these guys, if they would have fought Kubrat Pulev in Bulgaria, they would have definitely got Anthony Joshua in April. Dylan White, it's a peculiar case because right now, his resume is outstanding. And he's getting better with each fight, despite the endurance and stamina issues late in fights. Nonetheless, he wins. Gerald Big Baby Miller is going to be fighting a guy looks like, I said, he looks like Imhotep, the villain from The Mummy 1 and 2. Borjan Dinu. I got to New York late and I missed that press conference for the fight, but we're gonna be watching and talking about the press conference probably later on this week. Right now, it's 12:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, October the 30th, 2018. Devil's Night, the night before Halloween. Actually, it's like really, really early in the morning, and you know I had work to do, so I watched this fight. So. People were like, man, this is a boring fight, TstreeT. Don't watch it. It's going to put you to sleep. I was getting kind of tired, but I did have a nap earlier. But I've seen worse shit. Listen. For those who follow me, you know I watch all of the fights. All of the cards. I mean, I cover all of the fights, but I cover at least, you know, the main event, definitely the co-feature, and I may probably cover 2 or 3 more. I have to watch some shit sometimes, man. I have to watch some nasty shit. Most recently, like I said earlier, Ruslan Fafer versus Andrew Tabiti, World Boxing Super Series opening round for the cruiserweight. Or how about Jack Catterall versus O'Hara Davies? Ill. But I've seen worse. I've seen even worse than that. Tim Tszyu versus some guy who fucking flip-floppered. Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Joseph Abeko. Even though I enjoyed his sweet science. This was nowhere near this bad. What I was looking for, I guess maybe because if I was watching it live and I didn't know it was going to be a motherfucking snooze fest that people said it was going to be, maybe I probably would have been like, yeah, what the fuck is this shit? But watching it, I sat there and watched the whole thing. I didn't skim, you know. In fact, I was rewinding rounds because I was doing some shit on the website. So, you know, the whole fight, I probably spent like, you know, an hour and a half watching that shit. Hughie Fury's just got some things to work on. But one thing that does concern me, and it's going to concern a lot of fans that they've been bringing up, is, here, let's go look at it. Where is it at? Damn it, where did I do with it? Here, let's just move it over here. Do it this way. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Is it up here? Yeah, there we go. One thing that does concern me is this. In this day and age of boxing, right? 26-1 with 13 KOs. Tell me what you see here. Just look closely. They got Pulev in the ring, but he's not. He's like holding up his flag and stuff. Look closely. Do you see it? Do you see it? Last time he weighed this low, the lowest here, let's go here. The last time he weighed 240 pounds was over 8 years ago, or 8 years ago. Over 8 years ago. That's going to raise some questions right there. You're going to come in basically the best shape of your career. Pretty much. He went pro in 2009. But nonetheless, it is what it is. For example, you have the circulation of news is that Fresno Quindo, or rumors is that Fresno Quindo turned down the Gerald Big Baby Miller fight because there wasn't going to be any VADA testing, or wasn't going to be time enough for VADA testing. That's a whole nother video, though. But the thing I'm saying is this. Like, Kubrat Pulev, man, I hope he plays it safe, man. This is a big-ass motherfucking fight he got coming his way. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he can beat Anthony Joshua in a sense, but everybody has a puncher's chance. And with that, he caught Vladimir Klitschko twice. With that style he has. Now I fight left-handed southpaw, but you know, so my shit's gonna be fucked up. But when he has his hands like this and he's doing that circle and shit, you try to come in, and then what does he do? He fucking hooks the shit out you. I hope that this fight gets announced soon. No, Derek Chisora versus well, not Derek Chisora. White versus Chisora 2. Hughie Fury, on the other hand, you see how he's getting caught right there? It's because he'll be in a position on the back foot and he doesn't let his hands go. Or more so, the variety of punches he throws while trying to let his hands go on the back foot. See, looks like, what was he trying to go for? Was that a left hook? See, like, you know, he gets caught for dumb shit. Like, for him to be so tall, he doesn't really use the rangefinder well. Unless on an attack like that. That should be his offense. Even if the ref may get pissed off at it, keep that jab hand out there. Like for somebody his height. I don't know what be happening, mentally with him inside the ring. Look, he got sliced with the elbow. I don't know what be happening with him mentally in the ring. But he has a vast experience now with the fight with Joseph Parker, with the fight with now Kubrat Pulev. But the problem is, the thing is, people are still going to be like, yo, he ain't never going to be shit. But he's only 24. They got to work on some shit, man. I don't know. It's up here, I think. Did you notice Eddie Hearn is not talking about Kubrat Pulev or anything? If they don't get Deontay Wilder, they're going to have to fight Kubrat Pulev. Unless he takes a step-aside agreement and he likely fights on the undercard. He's a free agent, by the way. Me, not necessarily free agent. He's promoting himself away from Solid Promotions, who he was with before. I've been having trouble pronouncing that name for years. Sauerland. See, if I just pronounce it like sour, like sour, then I have a better chance saying Sauerland. Sauerland. But if I try to say it how it's spelled, S-A-U-E-R, Sauerland, then I'd be fucking it up. But we're going to see, though, man. We're going to see things are about to be really, really interesting. And also, the WBO has to order an eliminator soon. And the WBO is in cahoots with Frank Warren and Top Rank. Cahoots, I tell you. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to do more. I'm going to talk more on the Joshua and Kubrat Pulev situation because now Hughie Fury has been eliminated from the unofficial heavyweight tournament. That includes WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder taking on Tyson Fury December 1st on Showtime and BT Sport pay-per-view. Dominic Breazeale is fighting on the undercard of some shit coming up in December. I think it's the undercard. I forgot. I think it's the undercard of Charlo's or the undercard of this. No, it's not going to be the undercard of Wilder fight because of the beef there. It's going to be the undercard of the Charlo, Charlo's card, I believe. Still no official word yet on what's going on with Manuel Char, but Eddie Hearn is desperately trying to get Gerald Miller versus Borjan Dinu Imhotep from the Mummy 1 and 2 to be for the WBA world title and kind of screw over Trevor Bryan a little bit. Then obviously you have Kubrat Pulev, the mandatory now, and then we're going to see what. Don't expect for the WBO to order Alexander Povetkin versus Dylan White or Brian Jennings. I expect for the WBO to order either Dylan White versus Brian Jennings, or if, Eddie Hearn could swing it, to order Dylan White versus Derek Chisora. Brian Jennings and Derek Chisora are very good friends. In fact, Derek Chisora is right here talking right now. I wonder what they're talking about. I got to listen to this.
It seems almost there's been a conscious change of approach in your relationship with the public, with the industry, without his input, actually. A lot more smiles these days. It's quite pleasant to be around you, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're born again, to be honest with you, when you.
So you've turned your life around outside the ring?
Yes, I've done that. And
as he should have.
Was forgiving others and for me to be given, and
as he should have, because of he's getting up there now and he's trying to get that to plan his career after boxing. I hate when I see boxers, later on in their careers, they don't got no money or they not like relevant anymore. So it's good that he's setting himself up for shit outside of boxing. Same thing with David Haye. But Moving on. What was I saying? Brian Jennings versus Dylan White versus Derek Chisora 2 could be a WBO eliminator. That could give Eddie Hearn some breathing room. I'm sure he's working the phones because they don't want Kubrat Pulev, but nonetheless, listen. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And I was talking about it months ago. Well, when they first started negotiating the deal, when people said it's not going to happen. The rumors are there's a two-way rematch clause. Whether Tyson Fury wins or loses, he gets a rematch. Vice versa. If that's true, then Anthony Joshua would have to fight a WBO mandatory that can be, they can squeeze that to be Dylan White if Dylan White beats Brian Jennings. I'm going to talk to Brian Jennings soon. It's not going to be a WBA shot. It's going to be either the IBF. So put it this way. Anthony Joshua's next two fights have to involve Pulev and the WBO. Unless it's Wilder or Tyson Fury. 2019 is a make-or-break year for these motherfuckers. 2019 is a make-or-break year for their heavyweights, and we will have an undisputed champion. Depending. It's tough being on the top. It's tough. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.